Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today I have an exciting one for you guys because yes, I have a 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5. This one, the SEL all-wheel drive trim level. That is of course built at the new Hyundai Meta plant down in the state of Georgia. It seems like not that long ago we were still waiting for the plant to finish construction, and these cars have been being built since late last year, sometime in the late November into the December timeframe. This one is a December 2024 build, but they of course are pumping these things out at a pretty substantial rate. This one's being a little bit on the lower VIN side of things, but they already have thousands of these built and on their way to dealerships. So I am excited to see these finally roll out and get into ownership hands. Of course, we do have the first early owners that have already taken delivery of these vehicles. One of those being the Ioniq guy here on YouTube, Corbin. He got one, drove it, I think about 2,000 miles or so back to where he of course lives, and has been documenting his journey, some of the NACS charging, infrastructure, things like that. So there's going to be a lot to learn and discover with these vehicles over the next several months to year or so. But anyways, today in this video I simply want to do a walk around tour on this 2025 SEL all-wheel drive, clarify a few things that people might still be a little bit unsure about in terms of what comes with the car in terms of the Tesla to CCS adapters, things like that. And some of the new packaging that was also introduced for the 2025 refresh, specifically with the SEL, which did get the largest price change, which I do have a dedicated video here on the channel going over that in a little bit more detail. But nonetheless, today we're just gonna do a quick walk around tour, show you everything that this SEL all-wheel drive has to offer for the mid $50,000 price point. So take a look at the Ioniq 5 in front of us. This one's finished in the cyber gray exterior with the black H-Tex leatherette on the inside. Now this is a carryover color from the original 2022 model year of this vehicle. There were some new colors introduced, some matte colors, some trim specific colors for the XRT, for example. I have yet to see any of those enter production, at least in specific, with the XRT blue color. But nonetheless, this one is going to be a carryover. Now, some of the key factors or facts about this 2025 model year is it getting the J3400 Tesla charge port on the vehicle itself. So you don't need an adapter to plug in at Tesla supercharger network or some of the other third parties out there, but there are Tesla to CCS adapters. So if you want to use the CCS network, you still can do so included with the vehicle. Now, another interesting or useful fact is this got the larger 84 kilowatt hour battery pack that has already been available in the Ioniq 5N. This now rolls out to every single, I shouldn't say every single, but most of the trim levels for the Ioniq 5s. Now, if you get the smaller standard range battery pack, that is about a 63 kilowatt hour battery pack, if I'm not mistaken. It is smaller, but still larger than the outgoing one that it did replace. So every Ioniq 5 essentially got a larger battery pack for this refresh, which gives every single trim level a little bit more range than it had previously. Now, in addition to this, there was some packaging trim level feature changes. The new technology was debuted and rolled out, including the CCNC navigation system, which gives you manual charge preconditioning and a bunch of other latest features that you'll find inside of Hyundai's lineup. New styling, of course, and overall just a little bit of an update in terms of what the vehicle has to offer. So take a look at the front end of the SEL. You will find that every single trim level now gets the LED projector headlights with the nicer square running lights that also function as the turn signals. At one point in time, the SEL did have this back in the 2022 model year, but Hyundai got rid of that and gave it the more basic multi-reflector LED lights, which put the turn signal down below on the front fascia. That is back to being the nicer LED lighting setup here at the front of the vehicle. Still have the gloss black here in the center that features some of the radar and other sensors for the driver assist technologies. Front and rear parking sensors found on this one with the nice silver accent down below. I actually really do like this in person and the way that this one is configured, the color combinations, things like that. These are going to be the active arrow shutters that do open and close depending on the cooling needs of the vehicle. There's a better look at the LED lighting. You do have the silver flat Hyundai logo, which looks fantastic. And overall, just a little bit of tweak in terms of design up front. Coming around to the side of the vehicle, you still get the matte black plastic cladding, except for the Limited, so that will have different cladding for the Limited. Even the new XRT will have I believe a digital camo styled cladding on the side and the front and rear of the vehicle, so that is, you know, entirely specific to the XRT. But the standard SEL does kind of carry on with what we know and have seen from the Ioniq for quite some time. But what is new is going to be the wheel designs. I believe every single trim level is getting new wheel designs. Some of these I don't love so much, some of them are a little bit better than others, but this of course is going to be the standard 19-inch gloss black and machine finish, riding on a 235/55 19-inch Kumo Cruisin HP 71, probably an eco tire, so a decent quality all season right here. Body color mirror caps, LED turn signal integration. This does not have 360 cameras nor puddle lights, but it does have standard blind spot detection. Mirrors are going to be heated, and the only one auto dimming is going to be on the inside. Another new feature is going to be the addition of roof rails. The SEL does get this with the gloss black finish. No sunroof on this particular one, but you can put the cargo rack or other cargo hauling accessories up top. You have digital key 2.0 premium on this vehicle on the SEL trim on both of the two front proximity type door handles. So that is a nice new addition. So Android and iOS users can use the digital key functionality, and it is the premium type, which means you can simply like walk up to the vehicle, already unlocks like the normal proximity key fob, and get inside and simply start using the vehicle. So much better than that of the former touch type that was on, you know, some of the older Ioniqs that were limited to Android devices and things like that. Now coming up back, you do have more of the LED lighting. You see I have the headlights enabled, so there is going to be your running light signature. Again, very similar to the outgoing Ioniq, but we do have some styling changes down below. So you have some silver trim below the lighting. Unfortunately, still have, I believe these are the reverse lights that are the incandescent type in the lower fascia here, but I like this new silver trim that breaks up the standard matte black plastic that was formerly on the other ones. And then you do have the rear park assist sensors, backup camera just above the license plate, nice white Ioniq 5 badging with your flat Hyundai logo. There is the addition of the rear window wiper as standard. That is something that I know owners out there have asked for. So you have the nice third brake light up there with, I think this is a slightly tweaked design spoiler, but that wiper sure is going to be handy for even here in wintertime conditions, although this year has been extremely mild with very little precipitation. We've had less than 4 inches of snow here in Western Illinois, which is kind of unheard of in some of the, you know, top 5 lowest ever on record. But nonetheless, that is going to be a look here at the exterior of the 2025 SEL all-wheel drive. Let me know what you guys think of it down in the comment section below, but let's go ahead and take a quick look at the window sticker so you guys know exactly how this one is equipped before jumping onto the inside. So take a look at the window sticker. The SEL is going to be the middle trim level available in the lineup, although it did get more equipment than the outgoing SEL and brought back some of the features that, like I said, were found for the early 2022 model year vehicles, for example. So you're going to get things like the H-Tex leatherette seating surfaces, you have the roof side rails, you have the power front seats for both the driver's side and the passenger side, heated front seats, heated steering wheel with heated second row seats, which is a new feature, smart cruise control 2, highway drive assist 2, and the nice new CCNC light infotainment systems. If you guys are curious about what the SEL gained over the outgoing 2024 model year, you're going to have the advanced rear occupant alert, projector LED headlights, power folding mirrors make a return, acoustic laminated rear side glass, roof rails, H-Tex seating surfaces, dual 8-way power seats, rear AC vents, heated rear seats, and the digital key 2.0 premium, among some of the other features that were also added just as standard equipment for the updated tech. So overall, very nice equipment on the SELs. This one does have a few additional accessories, including the extra cost cyber gray paint, which brings the total MSRP including destination to $55,240. And it is worth noting, because that this one has that larger battery pack, estimated range is now rated at 290 miles on a single charge, which is a, you know, good size increase over the outgoing one, and it is the first model, of course, assembled at the new Hyundai Meta plant. Now take a look on the interior. As I was mentioning, this one has the black H-Tex on the inside, but a gray interior is going to be available as well. Starting out here on the door pin, you're going to find some tweaks to the overall design, material usage, and even I think some color accent use for some of the switchgear for the windows and the door handles. So up top, you're gonna find a textured hard touch plastic, which is a little bit unfortunate. This portion is gonna be a nice soft touch kind of leatherette or synthetic leather material. And I believe they did discontinue the ambient interior lighting, which might have happened for the 2024 model year. But again, at one point, the SEL for 2022 did have the color changing ambient lighting. I think that is only found on some of the higher trim levels. Now you do have power windows, mirrors, and locks with power folding side mirrors, and the two front windows are going to be automatic up down, which are the ones controlled from the key fob. So if you want to lower or vent the vehicle in warmer months, that will automatically lower the two front windows. And there's going to be the nice door handle pull finished in that darker metallic gray color. Good amount of lower door storage, but overall a very dark door panel, all things considered. Now taking a look at the seat, this is going to be the 8-way power seat with 2-way power lumbar. And there you can see the nice H-Tech seating surfaces with the perforations and the little digital emblem or embossment in the backrest portion. Overall, a nice looking seat. And there's going to be a look at the updated dashboard. So here in the interior of the 2025 Ioniq 5, this is going to be very familiar and similar to that of the 2025 Ioniq 5N and even the outgoing Ioniq 5 models, but just with some updated technology and some new features that are being introduced. So in front of the driver, you're going to find the dual 12.3-inch digital cluster and infotainment system. This is unchanged in size from the previous Ioniqs, but is updated with the CCNC hardware and software. So immediately you're going to see some new gauge cluster themes and designs. This vehicle, does have the Smart Cruise Control 2 with Highway Drive Assist 2, part of which is this driver attention monitor you're going to find right in front of the digital gauge cluster. But overall has a lot of the same pages that are controlled on the left side of the steering wheel. So you have your trip information, last reset, you have some of the current range expected with some new graphics there, looks very nice. Tire pressure, power distribution for the all-wheel drive models, and then cycling one more time, you can put your route information for Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, or the built-in navigation, and then there is some of your driver assistance if active and whatnot. So I might have additional content coming on this in a little bit more detail, but overall nice to see the new themes and the overall new layout. There's that driver attention monitor as I was mentioning, and then coming back we do have the nice black leather steering wheel that is going to be heated, flat bottom in design with a little bit of a new design language, 3-spoke as you can see right here. Does have the Smart Cruise Control with lane follow assist. There's the drive mode selection, so you have Eco, Normal, Sport, My Drive, and Snow Drive modes that do change the theme and the cluster layout if you have that option selected, with your audio, multimedia, and favorite buttons on the right side. Regen level paddles on the back side, and then the same gear shift by wire system that Hyundai first rolled out on the Ioniq vehicles and then has, of course, transitioned in some of their gas models. Automatic headlights, auto high beam assist as standard. There's going to be the regular intermittent wipers with, of course, the rear wiper control on the end of it. Coming to the left of the steering wheel, we have your gauge cluster dimming, automatic vehicle hold, electronic parking brake, traction control off, power lift gate, charge port door open and close, and then there's your manual tilt telescopic steering column. Still have this cloth pad, which may or may not be magnetic, so you can put additional accessories over here. And then coming across the dashboard, we just have a normal, black plastic dashboard. And there is going to be the new 12.3-inch CCNC navigation system with, wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, which is one of the biggest reasons that I like this new hardware from Hyundai. And I'm sure this is like a hallelujah moment for a lot of people that are interested in Hyundais, Kias, or, just the Ioniq series in general. So we do have the new EV pages, which you can see this vehicle is at 30%. New graphics gives you a lot of the up-to-date latest information, which we first saw in the Ioniq 5N. There's the vehicle to load, which does happen from the charge port on this vehicle. You can get the internal plug on, I believe, XRT and Limited. Set your charge limit, AC, DC charging, things like that. You even have the ability to manually battery precondition from this page. You can see it has the little status up there, so it's a little bit cold for optimal DC fast charging, but you can now activate that via the navigation or manually here on this page. Utility mode, Smart Regen, plug and charge. So this is very cool. It has this on, applicable chargers. You simply plug the vehicle in and it will automatically charge, charging either the payment method on file or some other means of payment. Overall, there's just a lot of customization, and maybe I will do a video in a little bit more detail, but it has Sirius XM, AM, FM, USB, Bluetooth inputs also, and overall, very excited for that. Down below, we do have a revised HVAC cluster from the outgoing Ioniq models. So you still have all of your shortcut buttons with a volume and tune knob. Really like that. You can see your temperature is now displayed here with the dual zone adjustments. Still have the 3 auto modes right there for the fan speed, sync button over there, and this is all the right changes. Hyundai really listened to consumer feedback. Down below there, you still have USB ports, but they're USB-C for the data and charge ports, 12-volt outlet, little storage cubby. This center console does not slide in the SEL, but does in the Limited, so you'll have a little bit of adjustability there. And then speaking of the center console, this is an all-new design and all-new layout with your wireless charging pad with Hyundai digital keypad right here. You have heated seat buttons, I guess, and the ventilated seats would be in this area if equipped on those higher trims. Heated steering wheel, 2-stage, very nice to see that. Backup camera button, so you can pull up that, and it does have front and rear parking sensors, which would be indicated on the right side of the screen. And then inside this, you still have the same storage with 2 USB-C charge ports. Here's your center console with a little bit of additional storage inside. And yes, this center console is a huge upgrade and improvement to the interior, and I love it so much. Up top, you have a lighter gray headliner, so it is the lighter gray, not the darker gray. There's the LED illumination for that. Vandy mirror, auto dimming interior rear mirror with garage home link on the bottom. Overhead LED lighting, blue link, SOS, emergency services, passenger airbag status indicator light, and no sunroof, as I was mentioning. So that is pretty much going to be a look at most of the updates here to the 2025 SEL. Now let's go ahead and take a quick look out back. So take a look at the back seat of the SEL. There are some key things I do want to point out. So starting out here on the door panel, it's a little bit unfortunate, but materials do not follow through from the front. So you do have the same textured plastic upper section, but the armrest is not padded whatsoever, and it is a crazily hard material. Now, for this $55,000 price point, I honestly think this is a huge miss by Hyundai, and if you happen to be watching this, Hyundai, please make the soft touch armrest follow through front to back. I would say as standard equipment, but at least on the SEL and higher, because I think at this price point, it really should be a more premium material than this. Now, what's funny is you do have 2-stage heated rear seats introduced on the Ioniq 5s, which was formerly, I don't believe, available. And it's just weird to see such a nice feature such as that, but then cheap out on the armrest. Just, you know, weird packaging, things like that. But you do still have a little bit of door storage down below. And then coming to the seats, same HTEX leatherette as the front with the recline adjustments, and they still do slide via levers on the front edge. So very handy feature there. Step in height is going to be pretty much identical to that of the outgoing one. There is going to be a quick look at the front dashboard. And coming out back to amenities, we have 2 USB-C charge ports with a small cubby. There's the map nets and the return of the AC second row vents on the B pillars on either side for these SEL or higher trims. So nice to see that features back on this vehicle. And as I was mentioning, the seats do recline, split folding 60/40 armrest, 2 more cup holders on the side. And then if you want to slide the seat forward and back, you have a good range of adjustment. There's the full forward position, and then the full back. I would say it's 4 to 5 inches of travel. So if you need a little bit more cargo room back there, you can simply pull the seats forward, and you have plenty of legroom inside. Behind my rough driving position, I have like 5 or 6 inches. Headroom's not an issue either, especially because this one does not have the glass sunroof. So I have like 2 or 3 inches of headroom, and these seats are just, you know, pretty darn comfortable, especially the fact that they do recline in a substantial manner. So I would not mind spending several hours back here on a road trip. Now take a look at the cargo area. Of course, you do have the hands-free smart power liftgate if you do choose to use it with programmable height. And back here, I want to mention a few additional accessories that do come with the car as standard. So you have the return of the level 1 charge cable, the 110, 120 volt outlet, kind of emergency use charge cable, or, you know, everyday use if you drive just a few miles. This comes standard with every Ioniq. Now that was removed and only included with the Limited last year. That's now back, likely because it does have the Tesla adapter on the end. Now, moving over here, we have the level 3 DC fast charging CCS to J3400 or Tesla plug adapter. This is also included with the vehicle. And then over here we have the level 2 J1772 to J3400, or again, the Tesla plug that is also included with the vehicle. So you have all three of these adapters and charge cables included, which I think is smart for Hyundai to do. Now, of course, we do know they are rolling out the DC fast charger adapter to former owners that have bought over the last several years. That process is still in the works and should be available over the next couple months. But overall, just nice to see that these are coming with the vehicle as said. We have an LED light here on the left side, some additional accessories inside this vehicle, and then underneath the floor you do have the same amount of lower storage, which I believe if you get the vehicle with a Bose premium audio system, that will take up, the subwoofer will take up a little bit of the space back here. But really nice to see that, you know, equipment overall isn't unchanged and those adapters are included with the vehicle. Now, wrapping up here on the passenger front seat, there is also a new feature on the SEL, and that is going to be the 8-way power passenger seat. So materials and everything are going to be the same, but here on the passenger seat, you get the same exact adjustments as the driver's side with the 2-way lumbar. Of course, they're going to be heated, and there's a look at the dashboard with the AC vent. This is all going to be textured plastic, and glove box is going to be damped with an LED light inside. And I believe this is pretty much the same size as the outgoing model. So yeah, that's a look here at the interior of this 2025 SEL. Let's go ahead and pop the front trunk, see what's underneath there before wrapping up this video. So take a look underneath the front trunk. We have pretty much, I think, the same as the outgoing one. We have a lid on here, just like all Ioniq 5s have had. And there's gonna be a look at the front area storage. You can put both the charge adapters, the level 1 charge cable in here with no issues. And outside of that, that is pretty much all you can fit. You know, if you want to put your first aid kit or some of those other items and amenities under here, you definitely can do that, but don't expect a lot of front trunk storage. But I think it is nice that Hyundai at least includes that. Now, in terms of powertrain and things like that, as I mentioned, it does have the 84 kilowatt hour battery pack, can be had in all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive configurations, and power output, to my knowledge, is unchanged. So you have 320 horsepower and 444 pound-feet of torque here with the all-wheel drive dual motor configuration. And well, it'll be interesting to see how efficiency and overall range matches up to the window sticker ratings and just to the outgoing Ioniqs because of those new powertrain refinements, improvements, and of course that new battery pack. Now, of course, one of the biggest improvements, or arguably one of the most notable features of this vehicle, is going to be the J3400 or the Tesla charge plug actually implemented and integrated into the vehicle itself. This is the first vehicle in production, mass market, that has this plug outside, of course, of Tesla on the vehicle already for you to purchase. So this is awesome to see. And again, it seems like just the other day that we were looking at this and discussing it, but now it is here in person. We have the same status indicator for your rough battery percentage and 25% intervals. We have a little light that shines through for these LEDs to help illuminate the charge port at nighttime. And overall, you can see it looks, pretty nice. It is worth noting that this is mounted in the exact same location as the former CCS plug. So certain, charging at Tesla superchargers for the meantime might be a little bit tricky in the way that those stations are positioned in relation to the back of the car. As we know, Kia with the EV6 relocated the charge port from the passenger rear to the driver rear with their refresh. Now, I'm not sure exactly why Hyundai chose not to do that. It could be some of the stampings or the body in white. Quarter panels might have been a little bit more difficult. Probably not anything to do with the wiring, I would guess, on the inside. More of the body and stuff like that. But overall, very nice to see that this is now implemented into the vehicle. But I will say this charge port flap may be a little bit off in terms of its adjustment. Bigger gap in the back than there is in the front. I'm sure Hyundai is working on tweaking this, but would be nice if they could adjust that or just get a little bit more dialed in terms of fit and finish. But I have to say, the rest of the vehicle, walking around it, looking at body gaps, this is a little bit large here, but the doors all look straight. I would say build quality compared to the Korean or, European models isn't all that bad, and I'm not seeing anything that screams horrendous in terms of build quality. And just to make you guys aware of this vehicle, December 2024 production, it is a 2700 VIN, so roughly 2700 in the production time frame. There are over 7,000 as of me filming this video. And Hyundai Motor Group Metaplant America LLC. Again, very cool to see that this is now built in Georgia here in the US. So that's gonna do it here for this quick walk-around tour of the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5 SEL all-wheel drive, of course, built down at the Hyundai Metaplant. Let me know what you guys think of the changes and the tweaks to not only packaging, but also, you know, the hardware improvements that Hyundai made for this refresh. Overall, I think this vehicle still has a few things that bother me in terms of their packaging, such as the door panel materials, some of the, you know, other attributes, but I think overall it's a huge improvement from the outgoing model and keeps it very, very competitive in the kind of mid-size or compact two-row SUV space, which this vehicle competes in. Now, I will say, I think there's a little bit more competition than there used to be, given the MSRP adjustments and the new vehicles that have been introduced since the launch of the Ioniq 5 in 2022. But as we have seen from the sales figures, Ioniq 5 has had some steady growth, and I think it's just because they nailed pretty much the technology on their first attempt. Just needed some small tweaks, which they did for the CCNC hardware with a battery preconditioning, things like that. Added just a little bit more range to this vehicle to, again, keep it very competitive in this space. And I think if they tweak some aspects about the interior with the materials, the packaging, ultimately this could be insanely competitive and, you know, really hard to beat, as it is really hard to beat the value. But for, you know, 2025, the SEL did increase about $2,100 from the outgoing SEL. Now, thankfully, they gave you quite a bit of equipment back for that money, but that does mean now a limited all-wheel drive is, you know, already at $60,000, where an SEL all-wheel drive is now at $55,000 as this one's equipped. So you are going to be paying quite a bit of money. And as we have learned recently, these vehicles have yet to qualify for at least the full $7,500 tax credit. You know, given there's some regulation changes for 2025 with the battery minerals and, you know, things like that. So Hyundai is aiming to make these vehicles qualify sometime during 2025. But as of now, as of this vehicle being built, it might not qualify for any, or it might only qualify for half of the $7,500 federal tax credit. We don't know for sure yet. So if you're interested in buying one of these, Hyundai still has their own incentives that you can apply to the purchase of this vehicle, kind of to bridge the gap until they get things dialed in terms of production, new batteries that qualify in these vehicles. But ultimately, you might get half. We'll have to wait and see because it is built in North America. Ultimately, they aren't saying that at the moment. So time will tell as far as that goes, but just take advantage of Hyundai's own incentives if you're purchasing one of these, any state incentives that apply to the purchase, and maybe you'll get half the credit in the future if you buy one of these early ones on, you know, next year's taxes, for example. But let me know what you guys think of the refresh down in the comment section below. All of the charging improvements, the, you know, aspects that they improved in terms of the hardware, and if you guys are interested in purchasing one of these vehicles, and if you're trading in an older Ioniq 5 for this new one. I know people are coming off leases, 2 or 3 year leases in the 2022s or 2023 vehicles, so it's kind of a perfect time frame for that. And there has been some early production hiccups, if you will. I think with interior builds or, you know, key fobs, for example, on the Ioniq 5 or the Ioniq guys, limited, didn't have the remote smart park buttons on the key fob. This one's not equipped with that, so of course it does have the right key fob, but overall, I'm not a huge fan of this key, but you guys know that by now. So let me know what you guys think of the refresh down in the comment section below. As always, I appreciate continued support and you guys watching this video. If you guys found it helpful, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. And with all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the next one.